Everyone believes that Jinn are creatures of darkness, beings who spread fear, mischief, and destruction. But what if everything you've ever heard was wrong? What if a Jinn gave up his kingdom, his power, and even his life to save a human friend? Tonight, I will tell you the extraordinary story of Sahed, a humble woodcutter, and Abrar, the mysterious prince of the Jinn. It is a story of friendship so pure that it crossed the boundaries between two worlds. In a quiet mountain village surrounded by dense forests lived a kind-hearted young woodcutter named Sahed. His family was poor. He lived in a small wooden hut with his elderly father and his little sister. Every morning before sunrise, Sahed picked up his axe and walked deep into the forest to gather firewood. Although life was difficult, he never complained. He always helped others before helping himself. If he found an injured bird, he fed it. If a young tree was broken by the wind, he carefully tied its branches together. Even the wild animals trusted him. They never attacked him because they could feel the kindness in his heart. What Sahed never knew was that someone had been secretly watching him for years. Not a human, a Jinn. His name was Abrar, the young prince of the hidden kingdom of the Jinn. Abrar had spent centuries believing that humans were selfish, greedy, and cruel, but after watching Sahed's compassion every single day, his hatred slowly disappeared. For the first time in his immortal life, he saw a human who cared more about others than himself. One afternoon, a violent storm swept across the mountains. Thunder shook the earth as powerful winds ripped through the forest. Massive trees crashed to the ground. Sahed was trapped deep inside the woods with no way home. Suddenly, a giant tree branch fell directly onto his leg. He screamed in pain. The heavy branch pinned him to the ground while rain poured endlessly from the sky. Sahed struggled to free himself, but the branch was far too heavy. His voice disappeared beneath the roar of the storm. As he slowly lost hope, the wind suddenly stopped. A mysterious blue light appeared through the rain. A tall young man dressed in shining white robes stepped out of the glowing mist. His clothes remained perfectly dry despite the storm. His blue eyes glowed like stars. Sahed closed his eyes in fear. The stranger gently lifted the enormous tree branch with one hand as though it weighed nothing. Then he placed his hand on Sahed's injured leg. A warm blue light spread through Sahed's body. Within seconds, the pain disappeared. His broken leg healed completely. Sahed stared in disbelief. Who are you?" he whispered. The mysterious young man smiled kindly. "Don't be afraid, Sahed. I am one of the beings humans call a Jinn. My name is Abrar. I have watched you for 3 years. I hated humans until I met you. Your kindness changed my heart. If you accept, I would like to be your friend." Sahed was speechless. Everything he had ever heard about Jinn suddenly seemed false. Instead of harming him, this mysterious being had saved his life. With trembling hands, Sahed reached out toward Abrar. Abrar smiled warmly and shook his hand. At that very moment, the storm clouds parted and a beam of moonlight shone down upon them. That night marked the beginning of an impossible friendship between a human and a prince of the Jinn. That night onward, Sahed and Abrar met beneath the ancient banyan tree every full moon. Their friendship grew stronger with each passing month. Abrar told Sahed about the hidden kingdom of the Jinn, a magnificent world filled with crystal rivers, glowing gardens, and towering palaces built from shimmering gemstones. He spoke of a land where the stars seemed close enough to touch and where magic flowed through every living thing. In return, Sahed shared stories of the human world. He spoke about family, love, hardship, hope, and the simple joys of life. Abrar listened with great interest, discovering a side of humanity he had never imagined. Although Abrar possessed incredible magical powers, he never offered Sahed riches or treasures. He knew that wealth meant little to his humble friend. Instead, he secretly brought rare healing fruits and enchanted herbs from the hidden valleys of the Jinn kingdom. These miraculous gifts slowly restored Sahed's elderly father, who had been unable to walk for years. Soon, the old man stood on his own feet again. Happiness returned to Sahed's small family, but happiness often attracts envy. The villagers began to notice strange things. Sahed wandered deeper into the forest than anyone else, yet wild animals never harmed him. His father had recovered from an illness that everyone believed was incurable. Among those watching was a greedy and dishonest shaman. For years, he had tricked innocent villagers into paying him money by pretending to remove evil spirits and curses. When he saw Sahed's sudden good fortune, suspicion filled his heart. There must be a powerful jinn behind this, he whispered to himself. If I can capture that creature, unlimited wealth and power will be mine. His greed soon turned into obsession. One bright, full moon night, Sahed quietly left his house as usual and walked toward the ancient banyan tree. Hidden in the darkness, the shaman and four-armed men silently followed him. The forest felt unusually quiet. Even the birds had stopped singing. A cold wind drifted through the trees, as though the forest itself sensed the danger ahead. Sahed reached the ancient tree. Moments later, a soft blue glow appeared among the branches. Abrar stepped out with a warm smile. "My friend," he said gently, "I've been waiting for you." Sahed smiled and walked toward him. Suddenly, a loud voice shattered the silence. "So this is your secret!" The shaman jumped from behind the trees and threw a large enchanted net woven with iron, copper, and ancient cursed symbols. Before Abrar could react, the net wrapped tightly around him. Instantly, brilliant blue light burst from his body. He fell to the ground in unbearable pain. The cursed symbols burned like fire against his skin. Blue blood slowly flowed from the corner of his mouth. Sahed stood frozen in horror. "Abrar!" He rushed toward his friend, but before he could reach him, four strong men grabbed him from behind and pinned him to the ground. He fought desperately. He kicked, he shouted, but he could not break free. The shaman laughed cruelly. "So, I was right. You're not an ordinary jinn. You're a prince. If I enslave you, every treasure hidden in the unseen world will belong to me." Inside the cursed net, Abrar struggled to breathe. Even through the unbearable pain, he looked towards Sahed. In a weak voice, he whispered, "Sahed, don't worry about me. I still have the power to destroy them all, but I refuse to kill innocent humans. Please, save yourself." Those words broke Sahed's heart. Even while suffering, Abrar was thinking only about protecting his human friend. Sahed looked into his friend's tearful eyes. At that moment, he made a decision. No matter what happened, he would never abandon the friend who had once saved his life. End of part 2. Sahed could no longer watch his friend suffer. With all the strength left in his body, he broke free from one of the men who was holding him. Reaching for the axe hanging from his waist, he charged toward the shaman without a moment of hesitation. The shaman turned in surprise. Before he could cast another spell, Sahed swung his axe with all his might. Crack! The shaman's enchanted staff split into two pieces. At the moment the staff shattered, the cursed magic controlling the iron net disappeared. The glowing symbols burned away. The enchanted net turned to ashes. Abrar was free. For a few seconds, the forest fell completely silent. Then a powerful blue light exploded from Abrar's body. A wave of magical energy swept through the trees, shaking the entire forest. The shaman and his followers were thrown backward, crashing into rocks and tree trunks. Terrified, they dropped their weapons and fled into the darkness. Peace returned, but the victory came at a terrible cost. Sahed suddenly collapsed onto the roots of the ancient banyan tree. Earlier, the shaman had struck him hard in the chest with his heavy staff. The wound was deep. Blood slowly soaked through his clothes. Abrar rushed to his side. Tears filled his glowing blue eyes as he knelt beside his friend. He gently placed both hands over Sahed's chest and tried to heal him with his magic. A soft blue light surrounded the wound, but nothing happened. The cursed magic from the shaman's net had drained most of Abrar's strength. His healing powers were no longer strong enough. Sahed smiled weakly despite the pain. He took Abrar's trembling hand. "My friend, please don't waste your remaining strength on me. I'm happy. Because today, I was able to save the brother who once saved my life." Abrar lowered his head. For the first time in his immortal life, the Prince of the Jinn cried. His tears fell onto the forest floor like tiny drops of blue crystal. "You risked your life for me," Abrar whispered. "I never believed a human could love someone from another world. You have changed everything I thought I knew." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Only the wind moved gently through the trees. Finally, Abrar looked toward the distant village. His expression became serious. "The shaman escaped. He has seen us together. He will tell everyone. They will call you a servant of the Jinn. They will burn your home. They will kill your family." Sahed's face turned pale. He knew how dangerous fear and superstition could be. The villagers would never believe the truth. Abrar closed his eyes for a moment before making the hardest decision of his life. There is only one way to protect you. You must come with me to my kingdom, the hidden world of the Jinn. There, no human hatred or dark magic can ever reach you. Sahed remained silent, leaving behind his village, his home, everything he had ever known. It was the hardest decision he would ever make. But what about my father? Sahed asked softly. And my little sister? Abrar smiled. They will come with us. I promise they will live in peace. The next morning, while the shaman gathered an angry mob to burn Sahed's house, Sahed quietly left the village with his father and younger sister. They walked deep into the forest until they reached the ancient banyan tree.